The Roman kingdom had many enemies throughout its lifetime. Some would prove to be more dangerous than others, and some wouldn't. These enemies would be Rome's first challengers, though most would not be conquered, as the rivalries would extend past the Roman kingdom. They still proved to be important obstacles for Rome. If you want to continue seeing more from me, like and subscribe, and comment down below. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so I would appreciate it if you subscribed. Now on to the video. Number 8. Volsci. Volsci and the Roman kingdom only began to be in conflict near the end of the monarchy. They only raided Rome's borders and did not full-on invade Rome like they would during the early Roman Republic. And when they did raid Rome had the help of their Latin allies who bordered between Rome and Volsci, which softened the impact of Volsci raids, earning Volsci last place. Number 7. Aequi. Like Volsci, conflict between the Roman kingdom and Aequi would occur near the end of the kingdom. They're only above Volsci since they actually bordered Rome and did not have their allies to soften the raids. They would later become a large threat to Rome during the rise of the Republic, so they're not too much above Volsci. Number 6. Alba Longa. Alba Longa was the mother city of Rome. They were a large threat, but mostly in legitimacy, as Alba Longa was founded by the son of Aeneas, who the Romans held as a hero. It is in Alba Longa where Romulus and Remus were birthed, and of course the two would leave Alba Longa to find their own city, and Romulus would find Rome. This would functionally make Rome a colony, as Alba Longa was the senior settlement, challenging Rome's sovereignty. They were also a leading city of the Latin League, but they were swiftly subjugated and later conquered and razed by Tullus Hostilius, with their population being integrated into Roman society. Number 5. Fidenae. Fidenae would be placed at a strategic point in the Tiber region. Fidenae would eventually be conquered by Romulus, however they would constantly rebel. Fidenae themselves would not really be a threat. It was their strategic placement that allowed for Rome's enemies to springboard onto Rome itself. But the rebellions would be constantly put down. They weren't really much of a threat, but more of a thorn to Rome's side. Number 4. The Sabines. The Sabines were one of the most persistent enemies of Rome, dating back to the near founding of Rome, where they were initially united after the Battle of Lacus Curtius. However, conflict would occur and the Sabines would invade Rome constantly. The Roman kingdom would not conquer the Sabines, as the two would fight against each other, but the Romans would win most of these engagements, severely weakening them near the end of the Roman kingdom. They would still be rivals past the Roman kingdom. Number 3. The Latins. The Latins were a huge threat to Rome. What makes them different to the Sabines was that the Latins would form into the Latin League, a collection of Latin cities who would unify with each other. This centralization would make them a huge threat, as they were able to effectively attack Rome, unlike the Sabines who were not unified. But the Romans would defeat them many times and eventually ally with them and have complete hegemony over the Latium region until the rise of the Republic, which would challenge that. Number 2. Veii. Veii was one of the most wealthy and powerful Etruscan cities. They would prove to be a huge threat to Rome, just being 10 miles away. The two would constantly fight against each other over the Tiber region. Veii was technologically more advanced and was more fortified and matched Rome's size. It's no wonder why the two would constantly fight. They would become more peaceful during the reign of Tarquinius Priscus, Servius Tullius, and Tarquinius Superbus, who were of Etruscan descent. But the conflict between Rome and Veii would continue past the Roman kingdom, but still they were very dangerous to Rome, as they directly challenged them over the Tiber region. Number 1. The Etruscans. The Etruscans were the most dangerous of the Roman kingdom's enemies. They influenced their architecture and much of their culture. They were also more technologically and militarily advanced, as well as being more wealthier. The Etruscans were so influential that 3 out of the 7 kings of Rome were Etruscan. It's likely Rome would have been controlled by the Etruscans and would themselves likely have become Etruscan, potentially changing not only Roman history but world history as well. And that's the enemies of the Roman kingdom. Here's a list from least to most dangerous. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to continue seeing more from me. And comment down your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.